Окей, это новостной блок о том, что нас ждет в Hearthstone в ближайшее время. Нам показывают повтор синематика нового дополнения Legends of Explorers. И сейчас, видимо, будет выступать Бен Брод, который расскажет про новые карты, новые механики и что-нибудь еще.
Welcome to the Hearthstone What's Next panel.
Ну вот он, веселый толстячок и бородач. С бутылочкой, все как положено. Красавчик. Как же классно быть здесь,
The League of Explorers. Hearthstone's newest adventure. Over the next hour, we will explore this adventure together.
В течение следующего часа мы исследуем это дополнение вместе. И он покажет нам все новые карты. Ну, правильно, почему? На следующей неделе релизится дополнение, почему бы и нет.
There's 45 new cards.
45 новых карт.
And those cards release over only 4 wings.
В 4
so somebody go
крыльях.
check on Trump, because this is value overload. This adventure is new in a lot of ways. We invented some brand new characters. We're exploring a lot of new locations.
Новые персонажи,
we wanted to take
новые
a break
локации.
from exploring raids and dungeons in World of Warcraft and just do something a little more lighthearted and different.
Надоело нам подземелья еще в Варкрафте, и, как говорят археологи, давайте копать. Нацепил Бен Брод археологическую шляпку. Еще забавнее он выглядит в ней.
Deep in the world of Warcraft, there is a great dwarven city called Ironforge.
Ironforge.
And within Ironforge
Старый
lies the
город из
Hall of
Warcraft.
Explorers, home of the Explorers League.
Это дом
And inside the Hall of
Лиги
Explorers
исследователей.
is the greatest museum in Azeroth.
И внутри этого
This museum is
здания
awesome. It's
огромный
got great exhibits,
и
lots of books,
величайший
a great place to take your
музей
kids on the
Азерота,
weekend.
который содержит огромное количество
But
книг.
something is missing.
Но чего-то не
Some kind of
хватает.
centerpiece to tie it all together. There is an artifact that is so ancient,
Был артефакт, который настолько древний, настолько мощный, настолько
that it would be the
крутой,
perfect addition
что он
to
был
the
бы
museum.
прекрасным
It's called the
дополнением
Staff of Origination.
к музею.
And one explorer has been working tirelessly to find it.
И
Her
один
name is
из
Elise Starseeker.
исследователей, Элис Старсикер,
We've got a
ищет
lead on the 3 pieces of the
этот
Staff of
посох.
Origination and could use your help.
She's got a lead on the 3 pieces of the Staff of Origination. That's huge. Elise has been on hundreds of League expeditions. She's created a huge catalog of maps and charts.
Она
She
создала
loves
огромный каталог
navigation
карт для
and
того, чтобы найти
cartography.
эти 3 кусочка
But her
посоха.
biggest joy is locating ancient artifacts that are so old that they're just whispered about in taverns.
Ее
So finding
величайшая
the Staff of Origination is huge for Elise.
задача найти
can't find it
древнейшие
alone.
артефакты, о которых
She
шепчутся
will
в
need the
тавернах.
help of the League to retrieve it. And even they aren't enough. She'll need your help.
Ей
Will you
нужна
help?
помощь
Will you
Лиги
join the League of
исследователей, чтобы
Explorers?
найти все части. Но даже этого недостаточно, ей
Excellent.
нужна наша помощь.
Of course, you'll need some gear if you're going to do that. You'll of course need your explorer's hat. We showed this off
Конечно,
earlier
нужно
today at the
будет
opening
снаряжение
ceremony.
для того, чтобы
Gives a minion +1/+1 and death rattle. This
закончить
card
эти
is awesome with
исследования.
echoing ooze.
Показывает нам шляпку,
Great with
которую мы
feign
уже
death. Get a
видели.
couple of these guys. Here's how it looks in game. Here, Harrison.
Вот тебе, Гаррисон, шляпка. +1/+1. Срабатывает дозатор и возвращаем шляпку обратно в
But
руку.
that's not enough. You need some more stuff. You're going to be exploring ancient temples, underground dark places.
Нам нужно
You'll need
больше
a torch.
штучек. Нам нужен факел. Наносит 3 урона
Here's the
и
forgotten
шафлит
torch. For 3
какой-то
mana,
ролик
deals 3
торч
damage.
в
It's not a lot of
колоде.
damage, but what you give up in initial power, you gain back in some late game boost. Here's the roaring torch that gets shuffled into your deck for you to draw later. Pretty simple.
Ого.
The question is it worth it to play a little bit less power up
3
front
урона
to
за
get this
3
much power
маны
later
и
in the game?
еще
And these 2 cards
6 урона за 3
will
маны.
actually be given to you no matter how many
Shuffles
Wings of the
of
League of
Color.
Explorers you buy. You just get the hat and the torch to start your adventures. All right, you're fully equipped. Let's go on a
Окей, мы
quest to find
полностью
the 3 pieces of the
экипированы.
Staff of Origination. The
Поехали
first
искать
piece
3 кусочка
is in the
посоха.
Temple of Orsis, here
Первый кусочек
in the
в храме
desert of
Осириса.
Uldum. Now the desert is littered with ancient Titan temples. But there was a recent windstorm and the Temple of Orsis was unveiled, hidden beneath the sands for a long time. This is where the first piece of the staff lies.
Вот он
And
храм,
Elise has
где первый
dispatched
кусок
a talented
посоха.
and capable explorer to help retrieve the first piece, although he's a bit impulsive. Meet Reno Jackson.
Explorer!
Reno
I'm
Jackson.
Reno Jackson, world-renowned archaeologist, adventurer, and treasure hunter. The first piece of the staff is here in the Temple of Orsis. Now, I've cleared most of the traps, but you're welcome to join for the rest.
Now, Reno, you're going to have to keep him in line a little bit as he goes to the Temple of Orsis to find the first piece of
Нам
the
еще
staff.
предстоит поработать.
Because he sometimes wanders off. When you enter the... Oh, let me give you a sneak peek of the Temple of Orsis as you step inside. This is the board for the League of Explorers.
Это
We call it
новая
the excavation board. Really gives you a
доска, на
feel
которой мы будем
of
играть.
exploring ancient ruins, underground
Которая
temples.
даст нам чувство
It's awesome. So, when you
исследования
enter the
старых
Temple of Orsis,
заброшенных храмов.
Reno will immediately find a shiny lamp, and he cannot resist a shiny lamp. So he'll grab it,
Рено нашел
unleashing an ancient
блестящую
genie.
лампочку, и не смог он устоять перед удовольствием ее потереть, и освободил он древнего джина. И это,
Everybody
видимо, был
knows that
первый
genies
босс.
grant wishes, and this guy is no exception. He'll grant you wishes as he's trying to kill you. And if you use those wishes properly, you'll be able to defeat Zanar. And earn these cards. The first one we showed off earlier
Как и
today,
любой
the
джин, он
Jeweled
выполняет
Scarab.
желание,
This
он
is the
будет выполнять
Discover
желание в
keyword,
ходе
a brand
битвы
new
с ним.
keyword for the League of Explorers. When you
Опять
play
же, карта, которую
a
нам уже
card that lets you discover
показывали, с
something, will
новой
show you 3
механикой
cards.
Discover,
You get to choose one of those to add to your hand. And those cards can be
которая
from anywhere. They don't have to be in your
показывает 3
deck.
случайных карты, и
They could
можно
be
взять
neutral
одну
minions,
любую в
or they
руку.
can be cards that you could play as your class. So if you play this card and you're a mage, you'll see some mage cards. Here's how it looks in game again.
Показываю сейчас механику в действии. Вот играется скоробейчик.
All right.
3 случайных карты, 2 из них классовые.
Choosing correctly here is not always easy, depending on what deck you're playing and what your opponent is playing. Choosing the right card for the right situation can be quite difficult. So that's Discover. We're going to see that a lot more as I show you some more of these cards. But in the meantime, here's another card you'll earn by defeating Zanar.
This is no place for mortals!
The Genie of Zephyrs. Whenever you cast a spell on another friendly minion,
Джин
cast a
Зефира
copy of
каждый
it
раз,
on
когда
him. This card's great with
кастуешь
buffs like Blessing of
баф
Knights,
на
Blessing of
какого-то
Kings. You get 2
миньона,
copies
этот джин
basically.
получает
It's
этот
also
же
really
баф.
good with Power Word Shield because you get to draw 2 cards because you cast it twice.
Опять же
Great new card
комбится
for
он
your
с
cool buff
Power
decks.
Shield,
Here's another new card. Some of these
потому
come
что
from the
2
class
новых,
challenges.
2 карты это дуровые с этого. Еще одна карта воина.
The new
7-7.
Warrior card.
В конце хода
The Obsidian
вызывает
Destroyer.
1-1.
It's a lot like Hogger,
Скоробей
actually. At the end of your
Стаунтон.
turn, he's going to
Как
create
Хогер,
top
только
minions. But he's actually a
чуть-чуть
lot harder to kill than Hogger,
сильнее
because often the
сам.
way you deal with Hogger is casting direct damage spells on him, like Fireball or Swipe. He is
Не уверен, что
pretty
эта
far out
карта
of range of those types of spells, so he's going to be a huge monster
будет
to deal with
играться.
for Warriors. All right. If you can defeat Zinar, you can get farther into the Temple of Orsis. And if you can make it to the treasure room, you'll find the first piece of the staff. It's called the Rod of the Sun. And even though it's only a piece of the Staff of Origination, it's still incredibly powerful. But it's being currently wielded by a massive temple guardian.
The Rod of the Sun is mine.
Очередной босс.
Sun Raider Ferrix holds the staff, the first piece of the staff, and it is so powerful that whoever holds it is immune to damage. And you will have to wrest control of the staff away from him, and whoever controls the staff for longer will win the battle and take the first piece. And you'll also learn these cards.
Награду мы получим.
The Anubisoth Sentinel has a very powerful death rattle. I think one of the most powerful death rattle effects we've ever made. Very hard to clear this minion off the battlefield and get all of its stats out of the way because it gives another minion +3/+3. Here's another new card.
Случайному существу. И еще одна карта, это камень вызывания.
If you've ever played the Tavern Brawl, the Grand Summoners competition, this card gives you the power of that Tavern Brawl in a collectible card. So you can play this card and then follow it up with some spells, or play it and somehow protect it for a turn and unleash a swarm of minions based on every spell you cast. All right. Here's another.
Следующая карта.
Buying or selling.
Discover.
This is a new Warlock minion. The Dark Peddler deals in small trinkets. Lets you discover a 1-cost card. And this is, again, a neutral minion or a Warlock card. Warlocks have a lot of very powerful 1-cost cards. This card's super flexible because often you really want to make sure you're using your mana every turn. And this minion, you play it on turn 2, and then on a future turn where you don't have quite enough mana to use, maybe you have a 3-cost minion and it's turn 4, you can slip that 1 mana cost minion in, and it helps fill out your mana curve. So it's a very versatile new minion for Warlocks.
Звуки пляшут.
After you have the first piece of the staff and you snatch it up, the temple will start crumbling around you. It turns out the first piece of the staff, the Rod of the Sun, is all that's keeping the temple together. And this mission is really unlike anything we've ever done. It's playable here at BlizzCon today. There isn't an enemy hero per se. Instead, you just have to survive long enough to make it through the temple before it collapses. It's a really different kind of mission. And you and Reno will have to escape, and along the way there'll be traps, there'll be decisions to make, and you have to choose wisely to make it out of the temple alive. This mission, actually, we had a prototype of it back in 2011, and we've been working on it since then. This was the perfect time to get this type of thing into the game. We're really excited about it. Now, if you can make it through the temple before it collapses with the first piece of the staff, we will reward you with these cards.
Ну, если мы выживем, то награду мы получим.
The Rumbling Elemental is a cool new minion for Shaman players. It's a little bit like Knife Juggler, in that whenever you play a minion, this time with Battle Cry, it will deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Hopefully inspires a brand new type of Shaman deck. Here's another new one.
Достаточно неплохая карта для шаманов нового архетипа.
The Sacred Trial, a new
Еще один секрет для паладина.
Imagine a hallway
Каждый раз,
filled
когда
with
оппонент
holy lasers and swinging axes,
имеет
and
как
the
минимум
worthy
3
can stroll
миньона
through it
и
unscathed.
играет еще
But the
одного,
unworthy,
уничтожить его.
let's see what happens. Here comes Antonidas. Is he worthy?
А вот он,
He's not
Антонидас,
worthy.
получает.
Sorry, Antonidas. All right, here's another new card.
Следующая карта. Древняя тень, 4 маны, 7/4.
Everybody knows
Battlecry,
that if you disturb the wrong
Shuffle.
sarcophagus in the temple you're exploring, you'll get cursed. And this guy makes that come true You can work with the Ancient Shade. He's a pretty big minion for his mana cost, but he will curse you, and that curse might catch up to you. In this case, when you draw the curse card that he shuffles into your deck, you'll take 7 damage and draw a new card to replace it.
Так называемое проклятие. Каждый раз, когда ты входишь в храм, ты можешь быть проклят.
Here is Reno Jackson.
Рено Джексон. 6-4-6, Battle Cry.
At the end of each wing, we will give you the explorer that you've been exploring with. In this case, Reno Jackson fully heals your hero if you have no duplicates in your deck. This is going to inspire a whole new deck type. Ideally, you have 30 different cards in your deck. You might be able to get away with playing a couple duplicates, but you have to make sure you draw at least one of those before you decide to play Reno to get the battle cry effect. Or maybe just make sure you have no cards in your deck when you play him. But this is an awesome new card. We hope it inspires totally crazy new decks. So if you can complete the first wing of the adventure and you've got the first piece of the staff, you can actually take it back to the Hall of Explorers and put it up on the wall in the museum and display it and get ready to go chase down the other 2 pieces. We got some new UI that shows you the progress you're making towards the Staff of Origination. All right, let's check back in with Elise Starseeker. Elise, where can we find the second piece of the staff?
The ancient halls of Uldaman, home to Titan ruins, powerful artifacts, and hordes of angry trogs.
Uldaman? I remember Uldaman. It was a dungeon in World of Warcraft. And the dwarves had been excavating this dungeon, this ancient Titan city, trying to learn its secrets. And there is one dwarf who heard when we were going back to Uldaman to find the second piece of the staff, he wanted to make sure he was there. Meet Bran Bronzebeard.
Hail, fellow explorer. I'm Bran Bronzebeard, the League's founder.
Now, Bran founded the League of Explorers, but he's been too busy out in the field searching for the origin of his people to do much of the work these days, but he had to be back for Uldaman. Although things have changed in Uldaman since the last time he was there, it's always been infested with trogs, but one trog in particular has gained a lot of power over time, and he has become the trog ruler of Uldaman, Chieftain Scarvash.
Uldaman for trogs only!
Now, trogs are excellent at disrupting enemy spellcasting, but he's become so powerful he actually pulses different auras, making it hard for you to cast spells, and then other times minions, and you have to carefully navigate his different pulsing auras to turn the tide of battle in your favor. If you can do that, you'll learn these cards.
Следующая карта.
This card is a lot like Mana Worm from Mages, and then it's an early, efficient minion that grows over time based on the spells you're playing. In this case, you can play Tunnel Trog on turn 1, follow it up with Totem Golem, and he gains +1 attack. Whenever you see Overload and a number, that number is the number of attack that Tunnel Trog is gaining. So you get double Forked Lightning and give him +4 attack.
За каждый залученный мана-кристалл в этом ходу.
Alright, you'll also earn this new card.
You want it? I got it.
This is a mage card, and it lets you discover a
Карта
spell.
мага достаточно дорогая, которая позволяет
discovers only neutral
именно
minions or class cards. So in
заклинания.
this case, when you play this, you'll see 3 mage spells. And mage spells are pretty good. You can see Fireball or Blizzard
Одно
or
из
Flame
трех
Strike
заклинаний
or
мага
some of the
именно.
secrets. But choosing the right spell for the situation you're in and for the deck you expect your opponent to be playing and the deck you're
Достаточно
playing
ситуативная
can be quite
карта.
difficult. The Mounted Raptor, it's hard to see from the art here, but there's actually somebody riding the Mounted Raptor, and when the Mounted Raptor dies, the rider pops off, and you have to fight that minion to finish off the battle. This is a new Druid minion, it's a new beast for Druids.
Мини-шредер для друида.
If you can defeat Chieftain Scarvash. Now, Bran has been in Uldaman before, doing some excavations, and the dwarves had to lay some mining tracks to help clear out some of the stuff so they could really explore this ancient Titan city. And when you defeat Chieftain Scarvash, the rest of the Trogs will be pretty angry. And they will chase you, and you'll have to hop into a nearby minecart and ride it straight to the center of Uldaman. Again, this is a really different kind of mission. There isn't an enemy hero. You just have to escape the chasing trogs in time and make it to the center of Uldaman. And you'll have to do that by using some of the tricks and tips that Bran knows, throwing rocks and bombs, weaving left and right. And you won't bring your own deck here, you'll just have to master the minecart to get to the center of Uldaman. If you can do that, we'll give you these cards.
Опять же за победу в этом крыле нам дадут нейтрального биста, который дискаверит.
Neutral minions or class specific to the one you're playing. So if you play this as a druid or a hunter, you'll see those types of minions. And again, choosing whether you want an angry chicken or King Crush can actually be quite difficult, because you don't know if you're going to get to turn 9, and you may need that one-mana minion to fill in your curve right now.
Карты, которые будут дискавериться, они
This is a fun new
будут либо
card, neutral minion.
нейтральными,
You'll also run
либо
this card.
классовыми. Следующая карта.
The Unearthed Raptor is a new rogue minion. Lets you choose one of your current minions that's on the battlefield and copy their death rattle effect on to the Unearthed Raptor. So you could copy Leper Gnome or Loot Hoarder or Sylvanas or Karen Bloodhoof for the new Anubisov. Strong new card for rogues.
Жалко, что это для роги. Хотя,
And if
возможно,
you make
новые
it all the way
архетипы
through to the center of Uldaman, an old
для
friend
роги
awaits.
появятся.
Arcadus.
Аркедис, следующий
Arcadis
босс.
watches the center of Uldaman. He guards the vault, and he will summon a lot of useless statues for both players, and they'll kind of clog up the battlefield. They have
Будет
0
вызывать
attack,
какие-то
and whoever can
бесполезные
make better
статуи.
use out of these otherwise useless statues will make it to the vault and claim the second piece of the staff which lies inside, and earn these cards.
И в награду мы получим обезьянку.
This monkey is fierce!
3-4 таунт.
This monkey is
Для воина.
super good in your bolster decks. I'm excited about this guy. Warrior card. All right, you'll also earn this card.
I have big plans.
Интересная карта для воров, Battle Cry.
But
Если
if
есть
you
еще
happen to
6
play her while
существ,
you have 6
получает
other
плюс
minions
4,
already in the
плюс 4.
battlefield, she'll be a 5/5 minion for 1 mana. It's a huge minion for only 1 mana if you can get that situation to get set up, which can be difficult.
Достаточно сложно, да, будет воспроизвести, чтобы ее Battle Cry сработал.
Here's another new card.
None may steal our secrets.
Паладинская карта,
The
которая
Keeper of
Battle
Uldaman is one of
Cry
my favorite new
устанавливает
cards. It can set an enemy minion to
здоровье
have 3
атаку
attack and 3 health,
миньона
which
на
actually
3.
sets up a great trade for you because the Keeper of Uldaman is a 3/4 minion. Or you can use it on your own Silverhand recruits, turning them into 3/3 minions, buffing them up.
Опять же
I love
работает
the
и на
flexibility of
своих,
this
и на
card
чужих
for
миньонов.
paladins.
Достаточно неплохой четвертый
Alright, here's
дроп
another
для
new card.
паладина.
This is a pretty weird card. It's a priest
Достаточно
spell. It's pretty powerful
интересный
AoE in that it
спел для
deals 3 damage to
приста.
anything, everything. But
Наносит
then you
3
shuffle
урона
into your
всем.
opponent's deck. It's hard to tell if that's good or bad.
И потом шафлить
Because
эту карту
if your
оппонента
opponent,
в колоде.
could use it against you, but if they're playing an aggressive deck, they may not want to deal 3 damage to everything. They might not even want any
Своеобразный
5-cost spells in their deck at all. So this is an interesting new card, something we haven't really done before. And of course, every
Не
wing
знаю,
ends
будет ли она
with the
играть.
Explorer, help you explore there. Here's Bran Bronzebeard.
Who knows what secrets we'll uncover?
Ого. Легендарка,
This guy's
которая
awesome.
дважды
It's going
триггерит
to
Battle
inspire a
Cry.
brand new type of deck. Thank you. It's going to be awesome. If you've never miscollared while this guy's on the table, only to Youthful Brewmaster him and miscollar again to give everything in your deck +4/+4, you haven't truly lived. This card's amazing, and here's how it looks in game.
Хорош, конечно.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Brand's rad. All right. So if you can complete the second wing, you can take the second piece of the staff here, put it back up in the museum. Looks pretty good. Making good progress towards completing the staff of origination. But while we were futzing around in Uldaman, we got a letter from the final explorer. Let's take a listen.
I am Sir Finley Muggleton, noble knight and an explorer of some renown. Join me in Stranglethorn Jungle to find the final piece of the staff.
Sir Finley Muggleton is a proper gentleman Murloc. And he's been stationed in Stranglethorn Jungle for a few months now, studying the native gorillas, trying to infiltrate their culture. But he was super excited to hear that Elise had located the third piece of the staff, and he couldn't wait to be a part of the team that found it. The third piece of the staff is in the ruined city of Stranglethorn, a previously lost city there. Let's head over to Stranglethorn now. There we go, wonderful. All right, the ruined city is somewhere around here. Let's see if we can find it. No, it's not over there. There it is. The ruined city. We found it. Look at it. Wait a second, what's that?
The Naga have Finley. Hurry, explorer, before he's dinner.
Greetings, explorer. I seem to be in a bit of a pickle. Could you help a fellow out?
The Naga have Finley? Oh no! For the first mission in the ruined city, you'll have to fight Lord Slitherspear, who has trapped poor Sir Finley Muggleton in a cauldron.
Dinner time. Tonight we have Murloc soup.
Throughout this mission, a hungry Naga will flood the area, excited for dinner, and they'll get hungrier and hungrier over the course of the mission. And you'll have to bust Finley out of that cauldron to save him before he comes dinner.
Oh dear. Is it getting warmer?
Now, if you can do that, you'll earn these cards. This is a huge toad.
Beast, большая жаба, дезратом нанести 1 урон случайному противнику.
There is another toad by his left foot for scale, so you can tell just how huge he is. And he's got a foot in his mouth. That's a huge toad.
Не сказал бы, что это хорошая карта.
The gorilla bots were a line of gorilla robots that were used to infiltrate the local gorilla population. This is the new model. It's got a new software update. We're excited about that. And it's really great for your mech decks. Again, this is neutral mechs or mechs of the class you're playing. So if you're playing Paladin, you can see shielded mini-bots and other Paladin mechs, etc. Cool new card for some mech decks. Here's another new card. New trap for hunters, the Dart Trap. This card deals 5 damage when your opponent uses his or her hero power. Finally an answer to those inspired decks that are wreaking havoc on the ladder. Dart Trap for hunters. All right. So if you can defeat Lord Slitherspear, you'll have a little bit of breathing room to search the ruined city for the third piece of the staff. The third piece is called the Pearl of the Tides, a very powerful artifact. And hopefully you'll find it easily, but there are some menacing creatures who are known to roam the ruined city. One of them is this thing. Giant Fin, the massive Murloc. Now, this guy pilots the ultimate Murloc deck. It truly is terrible to behold. Finally, a use for my hungry crabs.
Куча мороков будет вкалывать, наконец-то мы
сможем. If you run into him, which I hope you do not, but if you do and you can defeat him, you learn these appropriately themed cards. If you're familiar with Wisp, this card might look similar to you, but it is a Murloc, and often Murloc decks need a little bit of boost to get something out onto the battlefield, make it stick, and then buff it with other Murloc minions. This guy gives Murloc decks that kind of boost. And you may have seen this card in the demo stations over behind us. This is a Shaman spell for Murlocs. Now this gives all your minions +2/+2 whether they're Murlocs or not, but it gets cheaper for every Murloc that you control. So hopefully you control a lot of them. Alright, but that's not the only class Murloc card we have. I didn't want to leave my Paladin Murloc players out in the dust. Here's another new Paladin Murloc card.
Карта Паладина вызвать 7 муроков, которые умерли в ходе этой игры.
I mean, if you play Paladin Murloc like me, you know one of the big problems is that you run out of steam sometimes. This card is all steam. Doesn't matter if you played the Murlocs or your opponent did, you'll summon as many as died this game up to the full board limit 7. This card's awesome for Paladin Murloc players. Alright, enough with the Murlocs. Alright, so if you can defeat Giant Fin, you will delve deeper into the ruined city, and you'll find the Pearl of the Tides. But a horrible Naga Sea Witch has got the Pearl of the Tides first.
I wield the power of the Pearl.
The Pearl of the Tides is the last piece of the staff, but even on its own, it's a very powerful artifact. And Lady Nazjar has been using the Pearl of the Tides to warp and enhance nearby creatures. And you'll have to get your own minions close enough to use that power against her and defeat her and snatch the Pearl for yourself. If you can do that, you'll earn these cards.
За победу над Нагой.
The Pit Snake is a new rogue minion.
Новый миньон для роги. Уничтожает любое существо,
Pretty aggressive early game minion, but can also go toe-to-toe with your opponent's mid and late game minions.
Мини-император Кобра.
Here's another new card. This card is sure to frustrate your opponent. It's a priest spell. You choose an enemy minion, you pluck it off the battlefield and tuck it into your deck.
Вполне играбельно, возможно. Это жесткий ремувал, 6 маны, правда. Но шафлит его в твою колоду.
Here's another new card.
I will not be trifled with.
You can call this one Dr. 5.
Доктор
5 mana, 5/5. Your cards cost 5. So
все карты стоят
on turn
5.
5, you can play her, and then on turn 6, you can play any card in the game because they all cost 5. So you have the mana. Or on turn 10, you can play the Naga Sea Witch and then follow it up with again any card in the game because you have 10 mana. This card enables some pretty weird stuff. I'm excited to see what you do with it. All right. The Jungle Moonkin is a new druid minion. It's a new beast for druids. Both players have spell damage +2. That's a lot of spell damage on a single minion, on a 4-cost minion. And it's great because you can swipe for 6 and deal 3 to everything else, or you can Moonfire for 3 damage. But after you've wreaked havoc with the Jungle Moonkin, your opponent gets a chance to strike back. So it's a lot of risk, but potentially a lot of reward. It's a cool new spell for druids. And again, at the end of each wing, we'll give you the explorer that you've been adventuring with.
Ну, опять же, в конце каждого хода нам дают легендарку эксплорера.
Who's up for an adventure?
Battle Cry Discover.
This is a pretty bizarre twist on the Discover keyword. will show you 3 hero powers that you don't already have, that you're not already using. Of the 9 basic ones, you'll get to choose one, it'll replace the one you're currently using. Here's how it looks in game.
Who's up for an adventure?
So if you're a mage, maybe you see these and you choose, and depending on what deck you're playing and your opponent is playing, you might choose something different.
Reporting for duty.
That's Sir Finley Murgleton. He's also a Murloc, obviously, so. All right. Lady Nazjar had the last piece of the staff.
Ну и последний
So if you can
кусочек
claim it, you'll go
посоха.
back to the Hall of Explorers and you'll tell Finley, "Hey, Finley, we got the Pearl of the Tides."
Bravo! The pearl is ours. Accompany me to the Hall of Explorers, and we shall assemble the artifact together.
This is it. This is the Staff of Origination. This is your goal. This is your quest. And it's not the end.
Да,
There is another
посох
wing.
собран, но есть еще
And
одно
I'm not
крыло.
going to tell you what happens in that wing.
Он
But
нам
you
не
may have seen a
скажет о том.
shadowy figure following the League of Explorers. This is Arc Thief Rafam. And I won't tell you really who he is or what he's doing and what his interest in the Staff of Origination is. But I will tell you that the 4th wing will involve a challenge unlike anything the League has faced before. And you and the League of Explorers will have to band together to defeat it. The final wing takes place in the Hall of Explorers itself, and we really wanted to give you a feeling of travel and new locations in this adventure, so we created a 2nd board just for the final wing. Here's the
Еще
Hall
одна
of
доска.
Explorers. If you've ever been to the Hall of
Представляет
Explorers in the
собой
World of
сам
Warcraft, you'll recognize some
зал
of the exhibits here.
исследователей.
And even though I'm not going to tell you what happens in the last wing, I will show you all of the cards you will earn from
Ну,
it.
даже несмотря на то, что он не расскажет
gonna
нам, что
blaze
произойдет
through
в
'em.
последнем
So here we go.
крыле,
Here's
но
the
карта он
first.
нам покажет.
Elise Starseeker, you've seen her before.
Это мы
She
уже
shuffles the map of the
видели
golden monkey into
в
your deck.
начале самом
You saw the map,
Дресконе.
which shuffles the golden monkey into your deck and draws you a card, and
Девчонка,
the golden
которая
monkey
шафлит карту,
replaces your
которая
hand in deck with
шафлит
legendary minions.
саму обезьянку, которая всех
He's awesome. I
превращает
love
в
the flavor of
легендарных.
this card. Elise Starseeker, tons of maps. She's been everywhere. She's mapped out almost everything. She knows where all the cool stuff is. All right, here's another card. The fossilized Devil Soar is a exhibit in the Museum of Explorers that has been somehow animated.
В этом крае,
And
если
he
у
will
вас
be
есть
terrorizing an arena near
лист,
you.
получает таунт.
I should mention that Elise is the main character sort of in the last wing, and so she'll be doing a lot of
На
the
арене хороша.
leading of the League of Explorers there. Okay, here's another new card. The wobbling runs fight you in a tower,
3, 2,
and when you
2.
knock over that tower, they fight you one-on-one. That's the story. All right, here's another new card. The Raven Idol is a new druid spell, probably the most
Скалор
flexible spell
миньон
we've
или
ever
скалор
made.
спел.
First, you choose
Очень сильная
whether you
карта,
want to
мне так
discover a
кажется.
minion or you want to discover a spell. And then we show you the 3 cards that match that category. Again, you'll see neutral minions and class cards. If you choose spell, you'll just see druid spells in this case. So lots of choosing on turn 1. Guaranteed to rope your opponent. All right, here's another new card. This is a warrior weapon. The cursed blade. It is cursed, so while you wield it, you'll take double damage from
Оружие за
everything.
1, 2, 3,
But
но
it's a pretty
увеличивает в 2
powerful weapon for
раза
1 mana. So you can use it to gain
весь урон, который
a pretty
наносится
early board
герою.
advantage, or deal a lot of damage directly to the enemy hero for 1 mana. But don't hold on to it too long. Make sure you equip something else when things get hairy.
Не знаю, будет
Here's
ли
another
она
new card.
играбельна.
If you remember the Chromagus fight in Blackrock Mountain, where Chromagus gives you spells that sit in your hand and hurt you or help Chromagus while they're in your hand, this card gives that power to Warlock players. So while they hold the card that you give them, they'll be taking 2 damage a turn. Here's the card. Just sits there, and they can dispel it by playing it out of their hand, or if they don't want to spend the mana this turn because they want to do other things, they'll be taking 2 damage. This is the Curse of Rafam. I didn't tell you much about Rafam before, but he likes cursing things, so... spoilers. Alright, here's another new card.
Welcome to the exhibit.
Discover карта с дезратом.
This is another priest minion. It's a 2-cost minion for priests. Lets you discover a death rattle card. Now that's, again, could be priest death rattle cards like Dark Cultist. It could be neutral death rattle cards like Sylvanas or Karen Bloodhoof or Stalagin Fugin. This is a really fun new card for priests. All right, there's even more cards. The statue's pretty creepy. The statue, if you look at the statue, it's not moving. And as soon as everyone looks away, it starts coming for you. It's pretty interesting gameplay-wise, too, because if your opponent plays the eerie statue, do you destroy it? Or do you just play some minions and hope that they can't kill all your minions and then they won't be able to use their eerie statue? So it sets up some pretty interesting gameplay situations. Also, you could give it Taunt with Sun Fury Protector or Defender of Argus, and then it doesn't matter if there's other minions in the battlefield because your opponent has to attack it anyway. All right, that's the eerie statue. Here's another.
Thank you.
Дезратал, который дает монетку для Роги.
Is a new rogue
Достаточно
minion.
интересная карта.
Gives you the
Монетка для
coin when
Роги
it
очень
dies. The coin will
важна.
help you speed up some later game plays. Also, the coin is really good for rogues because it's a very easy way to activate your combo effects. You may have noticed all of the minions, all of the rogue cards in the League of Explorers are minions. We really wanted to push rogue into a minion-focused type of gameplay. All of these are pretty powerful, efficient rogue minions. We're excited about some new rogue decks coming out of the League of Explorers. Here's another new card. They just keep coming. The Desert Camel has 2 humps,
Пустынный.
and on each hump rides a 1-cost minion. One from your deck, one from your opponent's deck.
Дропается одна
And when you play the
костного
Desert Camel,
миньона.
both of those minions will hop off out of those players' decks into their respective battlefields. At least that's the story I tell myself when I play Desert Camel. This card is really good against players who don't have any 1-cost minions in their decks. They get nothing. It's also really good if you're playing 1-cost minions with negative battle cries like Injured Kvaldir. Super good.
Рассказывает он комбо складировал.
All right, here's another card.
Уху-ху.
Animated Armor is a mage minion. This is a suit of armor from the Hall of
Герой
Explorers
может
that has somehow
получать
been
только один
animated,
урон
come to life.
за раз.
It's a pretty efficient minion, but also it makes your hero very hard to kill. Arcane missiles might do the trick, I guess, but it can only take 1 damage at a time, so if you pyroblast the enemy, they'll only take 1 damage. Very defensive minion for mages. All right, there is 1 card left. I can't believe we've gone through 44 cards already. And this is the evil villain Archthief Rafam.
I am Rafam, the supreme
Discover
archaeologist.
артефакт. А что же есть из
Rafam
артефактов?
is the supreme archaeologist. He travels different worlds searching for powerful artifacts. And there are 3 particular artifacts that he's especially known for, and those are the 3 artifacts you will choose from every time you play Reform. They'll be the same 3 choices, and you'll see them every time. Now, he costs 9 mana, his artifacts cost 10 mana, and here's what they look like. Here's the first one.
И первый артефакт.
Who doesn't want a board full of mummy zombies?
Заполнить весь стол за
мумиями
3. Нанести 10 урона случайным образом распределенным среди всех врагов.
A timepiece of horror. Okay, he's got one last artifact. This one's a little bit nuts.
Дать миньону плюс 10.
Here's what it looks like in game. So those are the 3 artifacts that you can choose when you play Arc Thief Reform. They all cost 10, they're the same every time. Those are all the cards in the League of Explorers. I'm super excited about them. And the League of Explorers, this is the card back you're actually working towards right now. This is the card back for this month. It comes out December 1st if you hit rank 20 on the ladder this month. And if you can defeat every mission in heroic mode, this is the card back you'll earn for doing that. It's based off of the Staff of Origination.
И новая рубашка за
прохождение всех видов в
героическом режиме.
That's the League of Explorers. I'm super excited about it, you guys. The team has been working so hard on it. We can't wait to let you crack open the gates of the Temple of Orsis next week. The wings will release every week after that. There are 4 wings. We're going to take a 1-week break at Thanksgiving to let the server engineers have a chance to have a meal. And then we'll come back to it, releasing the last 2 wings 2 weeks after that. If you have any questions about any of the cards or anything about the League of Explorers or anything, you can come to the Saturday panel. I'll be there, and Mike Donay is going to talk about tavern brawls. We'll answer any questions you have. And then also make sure you check out the Hearthstone World Championships. It's going to be insane. I can't wait to see who wins. Tice. Yes, Tice will win. I don't know.
Говорите, что
Tice
Тайс.
1-3-2. Spoilers, sorry. All right, so
говорите, что Тайс выиграет чемпионат мира, но посмотрим, что будет завтра.
And enjoy your BlizzCon.
Спасибо, Бен Броуд.